What is going on, guys? Welcome to the second video in learning MySQL or MySQL. So in this video we're gonna go through the history of relational database. So how the relational database came into existence and how it transitioned between the relational database and all the way to MySQL, who invented MySQL and why it was invented, and who was the founder of the MySQL, who owns the MySQL, and what is the status of the MySQL at the moment as we record this video. Okay, so we begin with the history of relational database. In the 1970s, mathematicians by training, Dr. E.F. Code was a research scientist at the IBM, published a paper titled A Relational Model of Data for Large Shared Data Banks. The reason was that he was not happy with the available models of the data storage. A programmer named Larry Joseph Ellison reads the paper and works to put Dr. Code's theory into practice. His product at the time was designed for mainframe systems. Programmer named Larry Joseph Ellison, he reads that Dr. E.F. Code, which is the research scientist at IBM, and he published a paper called Relational Model of Data for Large Shared Data Banks, and Dr. Code was not happy at the time with the available model of the data storage. So this programmer Larry Joseph Ellison, if you don't know Larry Ellison, he's the founder of the Oracle, and he's one of the richest persons in the world today. So they reads the paper and works to put Dr. Code's theory into practice. So his product at the time was designed for mainframe systems. In 1977, Larry Ellison forms a company and later it becomes Oracle. Oracle is a company which owns at the moment MySQL, and it also owns Java programming language. MySQL was founded in 1979 as Unireg, an in-house database and Unix-based tool designed to manage database. You can read this as a Unireg or Unireg, it's up to you, but I read it as a Unireg. Michael Videnius invented Unireg. After all, it was rewritten in a number of different languages in order to handle large databases. Keep in mind, Michael Videnius, he's Swedish, so he's not English. Some names we might mispronounce, or I might not pronounce the way Swedish people they pronounce, so my apology for that, but I try my best to pronounce the very correct way, because some of the names the way we pronounce is a totally different way, the way the native Swedish people or people from the European backgrounds they pronounce. Say people from Romania or people from Poland or people from Lithuania, they have names that are, some of them is very hard to pronounce. But Michael Videnius is a very famous guy. He invents this Unireg. After all, it was rewritten in a number of large languages in order to handle large databases. And keep in mind, Michael Videnius is one of the founder of the MySQL. So Videnius founded a company called TCX with the business partner Alan Larson. In 1994, TCX was using Unireg to support the development of several web-based applications. So if you note here, Unireg is also a database sort of system that is very similar to MySQL. However, at the time, Unireg couldn't adequately support dynamically generated web pages, and this was around the 1994. So in 1995, the search began to replace the Unireg, and MySQL AB was established by Videnius, Larson, and David Exmark. In 2000, MySQL became open source under GNU Public General License, or GPL. So GNU General Public License is an organization which handles all this open source software. So when you make your company open source, it means you are making your company publicly available, the source code of your company, making publicly available to everybody to see. So people can modify, they can contribute, they can suggest you which part of your code needs improvement, they can suggest you which part you need to delete, they can suggest you all this improvement, or sometime if they found a bug, they can report you the bug. So you can authorize them to change your code, you can authorize them to modify your code, so you can authorize them to do anything. So that's the difference between open source and closed source. Say Apple and Windows are closed source, so they're not going to let everyone come and see their code, source code, but MySQL is open source. In 2004, MySQL 4.0 was released. November 2008, MySQL 5.1 was released. In 2008, Sun Microsystems purchased MySQL for approximately $1 billion. So who is this Sun Microsystems? Sun Microsystems are the creators of the Java, and Java is one of the most popular programming language, as everybody knows today. So 2008 came in, and Sun Microsystems purchased MySQL for approximately $1 billion. In 27th of January 2010, Oracle acquired Sun Microsystems. And now we're going to see from MySQL to MariaDB. The day Oracle announced the purchase of Sun Microsystems, Michael Vaidinius forked MySQL, launching MariaDB, and took a swath of MySQL developers with him. So on that day, on the same day that Oracle, which is a company, and I said that Larry Ellison that was founded, they announced that they are purchasing the Sun Microsystems. Michael Vaidinius, which was the owner of the MySQL, because the MySQL was sold out to Sun Microsystems for $1 billion, and now Sun Microsystems was sold out to Oracle. Oracle bought Sun Microsystems, and on that same day, Michael Vaidinius, which is the founder of the MySQL, which is the original founder of the MySQL, him and his mates, his friends, they forked out MySQL, and they announced their own MySQL, which was called MariaDB, and took a swath of MySQL developers with him. Why Michael Vaidinius did this, and why he launched MariaDB as an open source, free and open source software? Because he couldn't trust Oracle, because Oracle is the company, it's just like a Windows. They are in the habit of coming and purchasing big software corporations, and if the say MySQL is very, very famous, and he was in the belief that Oracle is going to put this one as a closed source and going to charge everyone money for his software that he created as a free and open source. So that's what he had. He couldn't trust Oracle, and he quickly forked MySQL, launching MariaDB, and he announced that the MariaDB is going to be free and open source forever. And as the recording of this video, Facebook uses MariaDB, Twitter uses MariaDB, Alibaba uses MariaDB, because MariaDB is free and they are open source. So keep in mind that MySQL is also free and open source, because as Michael Vaidinius, he didn't trust Oracle, and he thought that Oracle is going to make the MySQL closed source and they're going to charge people money. But that was turned to be not the case, and at the moment MySQL is also free and it's open source. So you guys, by all means, you guys can use MySQL, no problem. But keep in mind, because it's owned by Oracle, one day Oracle might turn around and say, look, if you use this software, we're going to charge you money. So that's the difference. If you want to launch your company, if it's very small software, if it's a very small website and you require very small MySQL, that's fine. But if you're creating like a very, very massive company, and you think your company is going to grow in one day into the very big, then you will stay away from MySQL, and you can go to the MariaDB, same as Facebook and Twitter and Alibaba and JD.com and all the other softwares that they went straight away with the MariaDB instead of MySQL, because they knew that one day MySQL is going to be closed source and they're going to charge money for using their database. So, and then they could trust the MariaDB, and they trusted the original developers of the MySQL, Michael Vaidinius. They could trust them, all the companies, they trusting him, because this guy is original MySQL creator, and this guy, he knows how to create a software, and because he's got a lot of developers with him, which originally they launched MySQL, and now they are managing this MariaDB. And MariaDB, keep in mind, is free and open source. The reason Michael Vidinius forked MySQL and launched MariaDB because he wanted MySQL to remain open source, and he couldn't trust Oracle with the open source. February 2013, MySQL 5.0 was released. October 2015, MySQL 5.7 was released. April 2018, MySQL 8.0 was released. MySQL is owned and managed by Oracle, and that's a site you guys can you can go and visit the site mysql.com, and they owned and managed by Oracle. And MariaDB is owned and managed by MariaDB Foundation, and the original creators of the MySQL is Michael Vidinius, and original developers of the MariaDB is also Michael Vidinius. The only difference is that because Sun Microsystem bought MySQL for $1 billion, and later on this next year the Oracle bought Sun Microsystem, and Michael Vidinius quickly forked MySQL and launching MariaDB. So both of them is going to work the same. If you use both of them, it's very hard to tell the difference. What is the difference between MySQL and MariaDB? The only difference is that it owns by Oracle at the moment, and MariaDB is owned by MariaDB Foundation. And keep in mind that because it's owned by Oracle, one day Oracle might, I don't know, I can't guarantee, one day Oracle might turn around then say that, look, MySQL, you have to pay money. Just like now with the enterprise edition of the Java companies, you have to pay money. So Oracle is a company is in the habit of doing it like this. So, and one thing is, if you don't know MariaDB Foundation, MariaDB is owned by MariaDB Foundation, and they are free and open source, and they're going to be free and open source forever. So you can trust this MariaDB company, and MariaDB and MySQL works exactly the same way. Alright guys, that's it for this video. If you guys have any question or comment, leave in the comment box. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.
You